Hey, good morning. I wanted to talk to you today about easements for road and utility purposes if you're buying land to getting ready to build a house on. So, the first thing you need to do whenever you get a piece of land in escrow, so you've got it tied up under contract, is you want to make sure that you have a preliminary title report ordered. And we talked a couple weeks ago about actually getting the easements plotted. So you have actually a colored key on a parcel map that shows where these easements are located on the property. And one of the easements that you're looking for is going to be a road and utility easement. So it's actually two different easements, but you want to make sure the first thing is for the road is that if you don't border a public street, okay, if you have to cross someone else's property in order to get to your lot, you got to make sure that you have legal access to do that with a vehicle or to walk through whatever it may be. So you have to uh, look at that plotted easement the title company gave you and make sure it has ingress and egress. There's an easement for ingress and egress on there. Okay. So that'll give you access to get back to your property legally across the lot that you have to go over. Now, the other thing that's really important is the utility easement. So you might have an actual road easement, but a lot of times these easements are written a long time ago and they may not specifically mention SDG&E, or they might not be a blanket utility easement. So you have to make sure they could be written for another utility company specifically. And that doesn't give the current utility companies necessarily the access to take their services to your property. So let's say you have a road easement and you have ingress and egress access. You may not have the actual right to take power down that easement without getting an easement granted from the property that you have to cross, from the owner of the property you have to cross. So you got to make sure that you check with the utility companies to make sure that the easement that is on that title report is actually going to give them the right to cross at that other property and get to your property with their services. So really important to do. And they don't necessarily have to go down the road to get there, your road easement, your ingress egress easement. They can access it from another angle. So, I mean, a lot of times you'll see one on the front, the back, or the side where it splits down or on the property line. So that is another way that they can get to your property, but you got to make sure that at some point on there that there's an easement to get the utilities to your site. Otherwise, you could end up with having great access to your road and getting in and out, but you can't actually get power, might not be able to get water, or maybe phone or cable to your property unless you get an easement from an owner, and that is not a guaranteed. So if you find that it's not there, like you don't have an ingress or egress easement, or you don't have the utility easements in place, you got to make sure before you close escrow that you get those in place and make that a contingency of your agreement. So if you find that during the inspection period, you got to go back to the seller and you got to go, hey, look, we'll close on this thing, but we got to make sure we get an easement in place. And then you can work out if there's money involved to actually get the easement, then you got to make sure that gets worked out as well with the seller. You know, who's paying for that? You paying for that as a buyer, or is the seller going to pay for that? So make sure you get the utility and ingress and egress easements nailed down prior to closing on that land. So hope that helps. If you need more information on buying land, you can go to our website at tfgonline.com. We got a brand new how to buy land guide. It's got a ton of resources in it, ton of video information, and it should be very, very helpful. It's a checklist of everything we do when we're buying land. So I think that'll be a big help if that's what you're wanting to do. So, all right. Thanks for your time today and have a great rest of your day.